So, Jenks, let's start with your main course. What's your favorite pick over the weekend?
All right. I've been waiting for this one. Lions -6.5 in the first half against the Bears. Now, this is where the Lions are going to take out like decades worth of frustration. They've been losing on Thanksgiving forever. All time on Thanksgiving. 37, 45, and 2, including a 9-game losing streak from 2004, 2012. But not anymore, baby. This season at home, biggest point differential in the NFL in the first half. So they're going to come out Thanksgiving Day, all eyes on the Lions, because we always watch the Lions on Thanksgiving, against the Bears in front of that home crowd, with this being arguably the best team in the NFL, the favorites to win the Super Bowl, against a Bears team that is 7-14 against the spread under Matt Eberflus. The Bears are going to come out with their hair on fire. Or the Lions. So it's the Lions laying 6.5 against the Bears, man. Oh, I cannot wait. I love this play.
Yeah, I feel like you can certainly make a great case for the Lions in the full game, in the first half, in the first quarter, whatever you want to say. Because you're right. It does feel like they're like the Celtics of last year, where nobody can beat them if they're on their game. All right, main course for me is going to be the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to be on the Packers -3 here. Some of this has to do with the weather. It's supposed to be really cold at Lambeau over the week. I almost said weekend, but it's going to be on Thanksgiving. Going to see highs around 27 degrees. And that's the main thing when it comes to trying to back this Miami team. Like, obviously, they're from Miami, and the numbers bear it out. This offense kind of falls off a cliff when they have to play in cold weather. If you look at their quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, 0-7 in games played at 40 degrees or colder. So this kind of fits that bill. It's a road game. And here's the other thing. Miami has looked like world beaters against some of the worst teams in the league. And we saw this dating back to last year. The Dolphins were 1-5 against playoff teams, as opposed to 10-1 against teams who didn't make the playoffs. And this year feels like the same thing. They have one win over a playoff team from last year, and that is the LA Rams. So it just feels like when they play the best competition, especially on the road in cold weather, all of the trends kind of go against the Dolphins in this one. So I'm going to be on the Packers -3 for my main course. All right, so let's pick some sides, Jenks. Other picks that you like that you will go along with your main course.
Well, I'm going to be with you on this one here. Packers -3, hosting the Dolphins. Love this play. This is strictly a weather play. What does the Daily Tip Doppler 9000 say? It says snow showers. High of 27, low of 19. You think the Fins are ready for that? What happened the last time they played in the cold? Chiefs in January lost 27-6. Chiefs fans were shirtless, losing their limbs when it was over. Also, all time, when the Dolphins play in weather that is 40 degrees or colder, they are 25, 48, and 1. Now you might say, all right, yeah, but they're still getting 3 points. Didn't they play in Buffalo back in November, lose by 3? Yes, they did. Do you know what the temperature was in that game? It was a balmy 55 in Buffalo. So this is going to be much, much colder. The last time Miami won a cold weather game outright was in Buffalo in 2016. Packers -3 at Lambeau.
Yeah, it's going to be a squad play. We're both, fighting over that side of, what is it, mac and cheese, like we're going to call it. And then finally for me, I'm going to finish out with Arizona. I'm going to go with the Cardinals +3.5 over Minnesota. This line was 4. So obviously if you can still find one of those 4s, go ahead and take it. But Kyler Murray has been great in this position. As a road team, Kyler Murray, 23, 11, and 2 against the number when playing on the road. So some part of his game, happens to travel well. I think a lot of it is just because people don't give Kyler Murray a ton of credit. And I know it's easy to look at last game and say, oh, Kyler Murray did terrible against the Seahawks. I feel like it's a one-off game. It was kind of a wonky game, divisional game as well. This is different. And I think you look at Minnesota's success this year and the success of their pass rush, and they haven't played a ton of great quarterbacks, at least in this smaller sample size, where I know they have 4 straight wins, but the quarterbacks they've faced, Anthony Richardson, what was it, Mac Jones for Jacksonville? We had Will Levis for the Titans, and then Caleb Williams, who still kind of is getting his feet underneath him. But I will say the Bears at least covered that spread, because that's the thing for me with Minnesota. They played some of these bottom tier teams and they've struggled to blow them out. So I don't have a ton of faith in Minnesota here to cover the number. So I'm going to take the 3.5 over a field goal with Kyler Murray and company. Let's go Cards for my third pick of the weekend. Jenks, how are you finishing out things? What is your dessert for your NFL sides?
My dessert is, how about a melted chocolate brownie after the Niners cover against the Bills? I'm going back to the forecast here. Now, Daily Tip Doppler 9000 says not great weather in Buffalo. Snow, wind, freezing temperatures, high of 45. That plays in Buffalo's favor. But this just seems like way too many points to me. I think this number's going to drop. This is an overreaction based on what we saw last week against the Packers when the Niners just got roughed up. But remember, Brock Purdy didn't play. Trent Williams didn't play. Nick Bosa didn't play. And now those guys are all trending to be back. Brock Purdy threw yesterday, says his arm feels better. Trent Williams and Nick Bosa are both trending towards playing. The Niners still have a chance to make the playoffs. They're like 17%, somewhere around there. That's their probability to make the postseason. So they really have to win this game. I don't know if they do that, but 7 points for a team that was one of the favorites going into the season to win the Super Bowl, which is going to have its superstars back, I feel like is way too many. And what I think will happen is as these superstars start trending towards playing, we'll see the money come in on San Francisco. Give me the Niners +5 or +7 in Buffalo.
Yeah, I think the fact that you're getting 7 in this one, I like this one as well. It almost made the card for me. So if you're doing, 4 apps or whatever, I would be on the Niners as well, simply because it's 7 points. Isn't it the ultimate buy low spot for this Niners team? A team, like you said, at the start of the year with all the talent they have on the sidelines, they should be one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl. But, it's been underwhelming for this team, and a lot of it has to do with their red zone issues. That's a whole other discussion. But still, if you get Brock Purdy back, and especially if you get Trent Williams back, like that's always been the thing for me. We saw this last year when the Niners were actually a good team. When Trent Williams did not play in those games, these are the games that the Niners lost back when they were actually juggernauts. So I think this would be a huge boon. And this is one of those that I think you have to bet before the number moves. Because obviously I think injury reports come out on Thursday for Sunday games?
Yep.
So it's Wednesday. If you bet this now, I think you're going to get some great closing line value. You can kiss that 7 goodbye if we see all the starters kind of back in the fold here.